Hi, guys. Welcome back to episode number 149 of Take Flight podcast. And your favorite quartet are back for a jam-packed group episode. Now, you may have missed us as it's been a while since we've all been together. But since our last group episode, we've really tried to keep the content coming during the summer with our great Take Flight takeaway episodes. So make sure to check them out if you haven't done so. Now, in today's episode, we're doing it slightly differently, as summer 2022 has been full of personal milestones for this group. We wanted to catch up together on what's been going on and what we've loved about the summer and also what we've learned. Now, we were talking about this summer, the milestones such as beautiful babies being born, weddings where we were all able to celebrate together, moving into new roles such as a CFO, becoming more established in one of the hottest startups in the world, paternity leave, traveling with babies for the first time, and everything else in between. You do not want to miss this personal yet reflective episode today. And quick one before the music hits, as you know by now, if you do have 5 seconds, please remember to subscribe on whichever platform you listen to us on. Leave a review on Spotify now. You can leave reviews, which takes about 10 seconds. And also, in case you want to see our faces, our amazing producer, Nandi, continues to upload all our content on YouTube. So please make sure to view us and subscribe there too. Now let's hit the music and get into this week's episode with the full group.
Take off, take flight with you. For we never fly, but we're flying.
Right, gentlemen, we are back. And it feels like it's been a long time since I've been able to see all of your faces in this podcast episode together. And it's so close to episode number 150 as well. So I think we're going to catch up in terms of how the summer has been in a bit more detail. But just to do a very quick check-in off the jump, how's everyone doing at the moment?
Well, first, I actually want to say a big thank you to Daniel and Olu for carrying the load whilst I especially was out for several weeks. So I just want to open up by saying, guys, really, really appreciate you just taking those weekly episodes.
No worries, P. Felt like it didn't seem anything different to normal. Carrying the load.
We've been doing it for 3 years now.
Now I understand what temperature we're on this evening. So we're taking shots. All right, let's go.
Actually, on that, I need to also echo that.
You
as well.
set the
I think
tone.
a lot of the people don't understand that.
Cool.
Wow, you guys come ready out of the gate.
But
What's funny is the alignment between the two of you. Now, I also need to echo P's sentiment as well. Thank you both for doing a lot of great work during the summer. And again, as mentioned in the intro, if you haven't checked out the takeaway episodes, make sure you do because they're great content. And yeah, thank you guys for carrying us. And looking forward to this episode with all of us together as a group after a long time. But Daniel Olu, starting with that very quickly, how are you both?
So I'm still after that shot. No, I'm good. I've had we'll probably dig into a bit into the episode, but I've had just under a month off work, spent it with family, traveling, and just at home as well. So it's been a lovely summer, been great, and seeing we'll get into it. I don't want to share too much of what's happened over the summer, but it was good to see the three of you as well.
Yeah, it was great to see Daniel. Great to see, and great to see that Jesse's got probably as many stamps in his passport as I had at the age of 21. So he's off to a racing start. Olu, how you doing?
Good. I just got back from holiday. Went to New York, so that was really good. I'll echo the same thing that Daniel said. I think it's surprising to think that summer's over. It's been, when you reflect and you look back, there's been so many different elements, so many different things to celebrate, changes in everyone's life. And it's just beautiful to see that. And we'll go into more detail, but yeah, it's been good. I can't complain about the summer.
Great to see. And it seems like every time you come back from New York, Olu, you get more and more relaxed in your face and shoulders. So it'd be good to hear more about that trip.
What kind of holiday?
It's basically every time I leave the UK, I come back more relaxed. It's the cost of living crisis in the UK is not the same all over the world. So leaving is sometimes better.
That's exactly what I thought, Olu. Exactly what I thought. And that actually gives me on to the P. How are you doing? I know you mentioned at the beginning the quick thank you to Daniel and Olu, but how are you doing quickly?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm feeling very thankful, very blessed. I'll explain why when I share my take. And there's just lots to do. So, but it's meaningful work. So we'll definitely can't wait to sort of share that with the listeners as to why I've been out for some time.
All right, perfect. And I think that gives us the perfect segue then to get into the meaty stuff of today's episode. So what we're going to do is share some of the updates that have been going on from our side around the group, and then we'll obviously add our perspectives to it as well. And then after that, what we'll talk about is one of the things that we've loved about the summer all individually, and also one of the things that we've learned during the summer as well. So who wants to kick off the summer updates, summer 22?
Sure,
Well,
you should probably
if
start.
I may propose, Joel, could you start? Can you please start by raising your left hand? For those who are watching, can you just raise your left hand? And bring it closer to the camera.
Yeah. It's wild, guys. It's wild.
So,
My hand
is.
is. Go ahead.
So for those who are listening and not watching, Joel's left hand just added a bit of weight. So on his next to his little finger, he's got a bit of some platinum around that.
Yes.
Are we keeping this episode professional? Or are we going off? Because I don't
Let's
know.
Let's go off.
We're going off. All right.
Let's go. We're going off.
Go on, Daniel. Continue.
Yeah. So Joel is taking the next step in life, and he is now a married man. So first of all, congratulations, Joel.
Thank you.
A married man.
Love, guys. Love. And also what's amazing for the listeners that may not know, since we started this podcast, we've always been recording, and someone's in a different country, or all of us at some points have been in different places when we've recorded. And the wedding that I had earlier this summer, which was my wedding, which is why my left hand feels light but also heavy at the same time.
Big deal.
It was our first opportunity since we started this podcast to actually all be together in the country at the same time, but also all together in the same room at the same time. And again, shout out to Nandi, who's our amazing producer, engineer, and all the above, who's also there as well to celebrate the momentous moment. So yeah, I mean, that for me was the big one, the wedding and the related events. I think in total we had 5 events, almost 500 people. And yeah, it made me appreciate a lot of things. I think one was also how precious time is. I think these are moments in your life that you just assume beforehand that they're taken for granted almost, but actually the time that we have together and the time that we have to celebrate these milestones are few and far between in our lifetime. So to actually have that time with all the people that we had in the room and in the events as well was something that I will carry with me forever. I think another element is also just gratitude. I think so grateful that after a couple of years of the pandemic, not being able to have all the people in a room together. Some people unfortunately passed away. Like earlier this year, my grandmother passed away, unfortunately. All of these moments add up and you start to appreciate that, again, nothing is taken for granted anymore. And for all the people to come and take that time off, travel up, for some people also had to fly over, it presents a lot of gratitude, and it's something that I don't think I can ever put in words how thankful I am for that. As well. And ultimately, the wedding, it was all about the people in the room. Of course, my wife being the number one guest and the VIP guest of honor, but also having the friends and family in the room. You see a life's worth of work all come together. So I would have loved to have more time with everyone. Would have loved to have more time with all of you guys to catch up properly in person. I think Jesse was there as a beautiful child guest of the Take Flight group. And then, of course, Pete will mention as to why his family was unable to attend, but of course they were there in celebration. But yeah, it was just great to have everyone. So just a big thank you to all of you guys for taking the time to come. And yeah, I loved the celebration together. So that's been the big one, the wedding. So thank you guys for coming and for celebrating together.
I think it's safe to say we can easily spend an hour or two just talking about the wedding, your emotions, what we experienced.
Yep.
I mean, Olu was crying, so that's a big deal. If Olu gets to a point where he's crying, you know that you've moved significantly an individual. But but just to echo a bit more, just to maybe share a little bit more of our conversation, Shua, when we debriefed, it was very difficult to find the words to describe what it was like just being there, right? It was incredible to be around everyone in person again. There was like so many different emotions in addition to you getting married. So it was just you left being thankful for being able to be there and being able just to witness the day. And it was just like you couldn't be any more happier with the people you have around you, and we couldn't have been any more proud of just seeing you, right? Just go through the motion. So it's a lot. Even now when I think back, I think to myself, yeah, like we're married, we've done it. Like that milestone is achieved. So it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. But and also I want to just say a big shout out to Shanaz for putting together an incredible wedding, because that takes a lot of doing. For those that have obviously sort of planned a wedding, it's a lot of work that goes into it, months and months and months. So yeah, just wanted to also mention that as well.
Thank you,
Yeah,
P. Love.
it was an absolute beautiful ceremony. To see Shiwal on that stage,
It was mad, isn't
because I've seen obviously the evolution. I'm gonna call it that, the evolution of Shiwal, and seeing Shiwal on that stage, I was like, he's a man. He's finally, he's finally there. Like and I think like P said, right, to surround yourself with amazing people and see like really kind-hearted, good people who, even in Shawal's moment, his day, he was trying to make sure everyone was okay, everyone was great, everything was going fine. Like, it was just beautiful to see you up there. I'll try and hold back my tears and not shed another tear on the podcast. But it was just such a beautiful ceremony where it wasn't there for show. It wasn't there just to portray an image, but you could clearly feel and see that there was love in that room. And knowing Shawal, right, and seeing how much he's grown, he's developed, you can see how much he cherishes that moment. It's not just a milestone. It's not just a tick box. It's, I found the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with, who makes me a better person, and I make a better person, and I want to share this with the world. And it was just a beautiful ceremony. So love, mate. And I would say that was probably the highlight of my summer, just being there, all of us being there in person and celebrating you.
Oh, that's a shot still. Saying
no, what I saw, you know, when I started the wedding, and sort of takes a few steps back, if I may, what I saw when I was there in that room was Shawel's ability to cultivate friendships, grow friendships, and also maintain friendships. There were people in that room that knew
winners. Everyone in there was a winner. people that knew Shawel from like his primary school, his teenage years, from university, from work, outside of work, that may have spoken to him, then connected to someone else. And just the way he's able to bring people together, that's what I saw. And even weeks before that, we were fortunate to spend a weekend in Copenhagen with Shawel and some of his friends. And you just saw people that were from different parts of his life, the different stages of his life, all come into the room. But instantly, you didn't feel like you didn't know them, because at some stage, Shawel had mentioned you to them. So it was almost like, oh yeah, I've heard about you. Oh, you're this person. So it's like, it was nice and mutual. It's like, oh, I've heard about this person before, but I never met them. And they never met me, but it's almost like you meet them instantly, you can have a conversation. And that was
Daniel,
great.
Daniel, you need to remember you're on a podcast. You're a big deal now. everyone knows you just based on
I'm not a big deal. I'm not a big deal.
You're a big deal. Own it.
No, but okay. but it's also people that Shawel's mentioned that I got to see. So it's also the other way around, that I got to see and meet. And that was great over that weekend of great activities. And even when Shawel mentioned about meeting this lovely, beautiful lady that had come into his life, it was like, right, this seems so long ago, and for it to approach the day and it become the day of the wedding, it's like time has flown by. And even within that amount of time, the amount of things that Shawel you'd achieved and were on track to achieve is just phenomenal. Like, you had multiple different, let's say in work terms, projects going on, and you executed on all of them excellently. And then for us to celebrate that day, all four of us in the same room, amongst friends and family, and those we had spoken to, had on the podcast as guests, and meet them in person as well. It was just a lovely and joyous occasion. And for us to see everyone smiling in that room, and just to really enjoy and take it in, to celebrate you and Shanaz, it was just like, no, this is legendary. This is legendary. And I remember going back, driving home, and thought this was a lovely day. So thank you for for the invitation, for us to be able to celebrate. Honor. It's a huge privilege to know you. And to know your beautiful wife as well. So yeah, it's been a great time. Great August.
Guys, honestly, you're trying to get me to cry live on a podcast.
This episode's gonna be
Yeah, we
Listen,
need to
listen,
we need to slow it down. We need to slow it down. But Olu touched, Daniel touched, P touched. I think honestly, having you guys there on the day, P, I know you've had a lot to manage as well on top of everything else. So having you there, Daniel, Olu, the fact that you guys were able to make the time to come at the stag do, not only just show up at the stag do, but really show out and show everyone what the Take Flight podcast experience means in person. From Olu's sumo wrestling to Daniel to everything. It was just an amazing end to such a great summer, and
Had a
honestly,
good time.
it's a privilege and an honor to have you guys there. But okay, this gives us a good segue into the next summer update. So who would like to share the next milestone?
I think P should
I
go.
think it's
P,
P. I think P should go.
Why were you able to? Why weren't your family able to make?
So for all the listeners, my life has changed again, in an incredible way. So I've
All right,
been
Junior
blessed.
My whole life.
How does he intercept my presentation with Genuine? Have you seen Genuine's latest moves as well? You see? So,
oh my god!
So
For anyone that's listening to this, this is why you should watch the YouTube video, because you would have seen Pete's just dance moves that he's just done. But Pete, sorry, carry on.
So my life has changed again in an incredible way. I've been blessed and fortunate to have another boy. So Ayan Aziz Timber was born on the 26th of July, 9:38 a.m. And it's still right. Even now, as I'm sharing this news, I'm kind of shaking a little bit, getting goosebumps, because it's really, really challenging to put it into words. Just how thankful I feel at being gifted with another child, a healthy boy. And in the last 2 months, we've just had incredible family moments, right? Just Karim connecting with Ayan, just me connecting with Lauren, and just going through the motions of realizing what it is to have a second child, and it's another boy and all of that. So yeah, that's why I've really appreciated Daniel and Olu and the time that we've I've been given, because it's certainly a game changer having a second child, which I can get into. But yeah, my family's growing. We're not going to stop. We're two down, 8 to go. I'm going for 10. No, I'm joking. So no, just honestly, I just how I feel. One thing I can say, I feel accomplished. I feel like I've been given so much from the man above, that at this stage it's just about how much I give back out to others in any way, shape, or form. So that's maybe the one way I can describe what it feels like to be in this position. So my whole dream is coming together, right? I've turned the dream into reality. This is also what I've planned many, many years ago, myself and Lauren. So to be in this position and have a second child it's just if I go hold him now and I look at him, I'm gonna probably start to tear up a little bit. It's serious. So yeah, no, that's me. So that's kind of the update. I don't know any maybe so before you share questions, I'll share the flip side. So I was always told even before I had Karim, the second child is really a game changer. You obviously don't know until you're in it, guys. The flip side of these incredible family moments and these precious moments and seeing Karim and Ayan together and your wife and all of that, the flip side is no one's hands are no longer free. You had a rhythm with your first child, which is now out the window. So you're trying to find a second one. And as a person like me who needs to be up before 5 a.m., that's not happening. So it's about like coming to grips with understanding how flexible you have to be. And you obviously got to make sure that the first one is getting as much attention as he needs. So there's so much that goes on. But I would say, not to take anything away from dads that only have the one child, but you will understand this when you have the second. You feel like the real work starts with the second, which is why my mum also said, when you have a third, you don't even feel the change so much. So that second one is the real game changer. But yeah, I'll probably share more personal, of what it's been like on a takeaway episode next week. But yeah, any questions from you guys, I guess, as to what's on your mind? Go on.
I did notice that your 4 a.m. post had stopped. So
yeah, are you missing it? I can bring it back.
You can bring it back. Yeah. Now you'll be waking up to stop the baby crying versus being in the gym
We're,
or
we're
skipping.
slowly getting to a rhythm, slowly,
No.
but it's
But I think you said, look,
stress.
you said you said thanks to Daniel and I at the beginning of the podcast. I think one thing on a serious note, right, is with this circle, with our close group of friends, you never need to ask for like help from us. Like we will always look to support you guys.
Love.
I can understand. I can't imagine how difficult it is, right? Especially even though you're not doing most of the work, Lauren's doing most of the work. So
Listen,
shout
I'm
out
gonna
to Lauren.
listen. Wait until nothing, taking nothing away from Lauren because she's obviously on a journey herself in the sense of delivering, recovering. But wait until I give you the takeaway episode next week. I've got some real gems. I've been sitting there as a man, looking out the window, reflecting, thinking to myself, okay,
How can I make myself feel good?
let me hold it together. Let me hold it together. This is so I'm coming. It's
Well, I think for the listeners, right, and just outside looking in, one of the areas which I love about P, and we always crack jokes about it, right, is the fact that P is ruthless and unapologetic when it comes to his time and prioritizing. And one of the things I've loved the last few months is you prioritize your family. And you said, look, there's so many people that would try to juggle so many hats, try to do so many different things, not really do it well and say, oh, I'm going to still try and do a takeaway episode and not record it, or I'm going to still do this, or I'm going to go to Denmark. He said, nah, my priority right now is my family. I can't get this moment back. And this is where I'm going to put my energy into. And that's one element that I look at you and I'm like, yo, I look up to that sort of example that
Thank
you're
you.
setting because it's not always easy to do that, right? You feel like, oh, am I letting this person down? With us, with our group, with our friendship, you never have to feel like that, right? And anytime you need our help, we're always going to be here to support you and carry you through that moment. But for any of the fathers out there, first time, second time, that's an example that you should take from P is know when to take a step back and prioritize your family. So that's just an observation that I just want to say. Well done, bro.
Thank you, bro. Love.
Damn. I'm in the podcast. I got to go to my family. Fam.
Bring Jesse down now.
No. Jokes aside. No, jokes aside. That's something also I commend about P. It's just the fact that he's able to prioritize and not be flexible on that. He doesn't like to bend it and make an exception, even to the point where I'll give him a phone call. He don't pick up. Will he return it? Nah.
D.
But yeah,
I'm literally holding. You know, it gets to a stage now. You'll be there as well. That's what I love in the sense of you understand. You if you get to a point where your phone's ringing, you're knee deep in parenting work. When I say knee deep, I'm talking about like you're full on, either dealing with the baby or dealing with the first one. Maybe they're both crying. The last thing you can do, is say, sorry, bro, I'll call you back. Like there's just so much going on. But I know you know, so it's okay.
No. I don't take it personally. Yes, I don't take it personally.
No, I know. So it's I'm
So-
just super thankful. Go ahead.
So I think the what's funny is so when Pete told me and he shared the beautiful pictures of baby number 2, I am the first 2 things that I said to Pabilo Timbo is one, my brother, I'm getting married, so slow down, and I need at least one of our kids to be around the same age. So if you're waiting for that third one, give me a couple of years to let me catch up. That was the first thing. The second thing is I wanted to know how Karim felt that his inheritance was chopped in half overnight. On the third more serious point, and I've shared this with Pabilo as well, is I think the way that you transition, Pete, and it almost feels seamless from Karim when you first had him and the moments that you shared with him to then now Ayan joining. I think I just come away always inspired by listening to how you speak about your kids, how you are building that relationship with him. And I think also the way that Daniel handles Jesse, the way that Nathan, another friend of the pod, manages his 2 kids as well. I think these are all inspiring role models and examples where people who want to see what good fatherhood looks like in this generation, which is very different, typically speaking, for our cultures of an older generation. These are great role models where you can see it firsthand and see the inspiration that it gives me. And it personally has given me a lot of inspiration. I know it has given a lot of other people. So I think the way that you manage it, P, with the second baby, it sounds like now is the transition period, but knowing you and knowing how you operate and knowing how you always come out stronger on the other side, it's going to be dangerous, the Pavilo Timbo that's after this transition period with the early phases of Anne. So just love the inspiration, love the love. And I think you're setting a great example for young dads out there. But just slow down on that third baby, bro, because I want to catch up with at least one.
Bro,
Daniel, this is also a public warning to you as well. If you're planning number 2, give me a couple of years to catch up.
No, what about me? No warning.
Let me come to that.
There's reason. Listen, can I just say for the listeners,
Please, let me come to that.
For the
Please,
listeners,
let me come
before
to
we
that.
started recording, we discussed about ground rules for this episode, and the only person that had ground rules was Olu. So this is why I refrained from making any comment. But Olu, otherwise, you know as well.
I take shots at myself.
First of all, can I say, first of all, can I say a big thank you to you guys? Even though we're as close as we are, whenever you share words about you're setting a great example, especially in parenting and fatherhood, that moves me more than any other compliment, because it's just what I want to be remembered or known for versus anything else, right? That relationship with my children. So it's actually, I've actually teared in my eyes on both sides. So it's yeah, you don't really understand how much that means to me just to hear it from anyone, right? So yeah, thank you. But just
I know what he's gonna say.
I know just
at the wedding.
But the thing is, what I do want to say. This is what I want to say. No, this is what I want to say.
I don't think Shaw knows what going.
No, this is what I want to. I think, and I told you, it was that good. I told you. What I want to say is how much of a good sport Olu is, even though he's in the position where he's not married and he doesn't have a kid, right? Because there are these moments coming up where Olu's saying as a joke, what about me? He could, we are super close, but he could also not say that, right? So just quickly for the listeners, we was at the Shiwa's wedding. No, but Olu, I'm saying it, yeah, because
say it.
I was trying to be mindful, but you kind of stepped in there and was like, nah, it is what it is. Yeah? So it was myself, Daniel, and Olu were standing together. And one of Shiwa's cousins, more or less. In a circle. Yeah, one of Shiwa's cousins real quickly turned around and said to us, are you guys all married? And I turned around slowly because I was like, how do we answer this in a nice way? Yeah. Olu just stepped forward and was like, I'm not. As if to say, and what? And there's nothing wrong with it. And what? And we just like laughing our heads off. So I just want to say, Olu, you are a great sport in this.
Some context. I knew if I didn't say that, P was ready to fire some shots. I said, let me get ahead of that prior to that. But I don't mind going next. And I'll leave it to Daniel because I think we've had a wedding, a newborn baby. I don't have any of those news for the listeners. But this summer has been a great summer, right? I think I've done a takeaway episode where the start of the summer was me taking a leap of faith just in terms of my career and announcing that I was a CFO. And the last sort of few months, and I'll do another takeaway episode just following up on it, it's just been amazing. The development, the purpose that I've gained during the last few months in this particular role has just been a game changer. But I think when I look back at my summer and sort of the memorable elements and what I spent my summer doing, I would say it was being spontaneous and saying yes more, especially when it came to visiting and seeing friends. So over the summer, starting with sort of Switzerland, right? I remember us doing a podcast and Shiwa was saying, hey, I'm going to be going to Switzerland this weekend. And I was like, oh, really? Cool. I'm booking a flight and I'll go to Switzerland. Yeah. Spent some time with Shiwa and some other friends of Shiwa. And then I also got the opportunity to see Pabilo and his beautiful family, right? Daniel mentioned it. There was an opportunity to go to Denmark. Shiwa messaged me, said, hey, got a group of friends that are coming to Denmark. He said, cool, send me the dates. I'll be there. Again, great opportunity. Got to travel, spend some time with Daniel, Shawal, and lots of groups of friends. I have an annual travel with the guys where we go somewhere either in the UK or Europe. This year we went to Manchester. Again, organized it, found hotels where we're gonna stay, spent time with family. I've been to New York twice.
A couple of
Olu,
times.
Olu,
Yeah, a
can I
couple
just
of
say,
times,
yeah? Can I just say, I smell that CFO money.
Okay.
Smells real
Let
different.
me
When they
let
go
me
to
Yeah,
the
like
new
moving,
blacks,
the
new blacks with
bounce
new
is
stacks.
different. Yeah.
Listen, all of
let
those
me
people-
let
listen,
me
I'm saying.
clarify this. Yeah,
All of those people-
because
Please say that again. Please say that again. Please say that again.
new blacks with new stacks. I'm telling
let me clarify this because a lot of people have been
Go on. You
a
talk.
lot of people have been pocket watching and thinking because of this CFO role,
working differently.
I want to make it clear. I've got the title. I don't have the bag to match the title. Yeah, I want to manage expectations out there, right? When it comes to these trips, they've been either European trips or flights on sale. That's where I'm not flying first class, private jet. I just want to
No.
manage expectation.
Listen,
Yeah. What you forgot to mention is how Beckley Rose has been popping off as well. But I like
it's
how you
all popping.
conveniently,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah, you just conveniently left that bit out. But okay.
So it was even so I went to New York a couple of times. The most recent time it was maybe a few days, a week before I saw a really good deal for flights, and I said, okay, why not? Right? I enjoyed the bank holiday here. I was like, why not go to New York and enjoy the Labor Day weekend there as well? So
for money.
this this summer has really been about me being spontaneous. Every opportunity or the opportunities I've had to spend with friends and family, I've tried to make the most of it. I know we're going to talk about lessons learned. I know based on the fact that I've been just active, out and about, traveling, etc., I've missed spending times with really close friends of mine as well, which I think that's probably where the lesson learned is, like trying to balance it out and also make sure that you do get in contact or reach out to your close friends, because there's so much going on in people's lives that you just want to make sure you're there for all your friends, not only the ones that you travel and go and visit. And then the last thing that I just want to mention about this this summer, I think P said it right. I'm not at the stage where I'm married or have kids yet, but I've been able to really celebrate love. And it's just been so beautiful to see. And I'm not the sort of person that's like, oh, I'm rushing to get to this stage, or I see someone at a particular stage and I'm like envious or jealous. It's just brings so much joy in my heart where it comes to, if it's Shawal getting married, I have so many friends who have gotten engaged, and I'm like, yo, let me know the date for that wedding. I'll be there. If it's in the US or in the UK, wherever, I'm going to be there. So I love, or I enjoy seeing love, especially around my friends and the people that I cherish. But yeah, that's pretty much been my summer. New role, traveling recklessly, and love. But I still haven't reached Bali yet, so maybe
just
by the end of the year.
the last thing I'll say is a question, but you don't need to answer it. Is would you have said yes so many times on your old salary? I don't think so.
Yes.
Daniel, go ahead.
Yes, I would have. I think the difference is because I haven't spoken to P for a few months, I haven't had someone in my head saying, save, invest.
Oh, is it? Oh, I see.
I've been able to stash a little bit more.
Now you said that.
Go on, Daniel. How about you?
And to round up, I'll be quite brief. No, my summer's been good. I think I probably had more time off work than I have been working. Not that I haven't been working, but it's by design to some degree. Every quarter we get a week off work to recharge, and I've been fortunate to be blessed with 18 weeks paternity. So I've been using that quite wisely to have pockets of time to spend with the family, which has been, absolutely priceless.
Daniel, you can't need to use all of that. Because I remember
I'm
you having a
all of it. No. To clarify, no. When I spoke about when I put that post about 18 weeks and using all of it, I mentioned I was talking about using all of it in one go, not breaking up into chunks.
That's an important caveat. That's an
Yes,
important
caveat
caveat.
is
Olu, I appreciate
take,
that for fairness, Olu. Go on,
just,
Dan.
I just remember.
I
on the shots.
would, I wouldn't take 4.5 months off immediately and just be MIA. No, I would break
you
it
wanna
up
know what's
into
funny
chunks.
about that? When you posted that on your Instagram, I actually felt away. I genuinely
I'm
looked
sorry,
at that and
Pete.
said,
I publicly apologize. I'm sorry if you felt
he's
away, but
taking a
get
shot
over yourself.
publicly.
Get over
Pete,
yourself.
Pete,
This is me. I said, cool. Let me just try and
Pete, do
think
you want to
about
give
why
some
he would say
context
that.
to some of the listeners? Just a quick context for some of the listeners that might not understand the joke.
No,
Because Pete's doing it
I don't
again.
want anyone.
Because
I
Pete's
don't
doing
want
it again.
anyone. I don't want anyone else thinking.
Because Pete's doing it again. He can't say oh no.
Daniel, continue. I'll
Yeah,
share more on my
yeah.
take flight. Episode.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, you do that. You do that. So yeah, it's been nice to spend the time with the family. Have just sort of undiluted, undivided attention with the family. Last week was my first day back at the time of recording, and I just had 3 weeks off. First week was completely off grid, offline from work, not any emails, no communication, because I traveled, spent the week away. Well, just over a week with the family. Went to Antalya, Turkey to celebrate my mum's 60th birthday. So that was a great time to spend with the family, all of us being in the same location. And it's actually, I think it's been a while since our last family holiday. I think the last one when we all traveled to a different destination was 10 years ago, actually, for Mom's 50th, when we went on a 7-day cruise around Europe. So it was nice. And then I think similar to Ollie, been a bit of travel. So the last 3 months, I've done 3 trips in 3 months.
Wait,
so that's been nice
Jesse's passport must be hot right now. The way they're
snapping his
getting his
mojo, man.
stamps, yeah.
So yeah, it's nice to travel with the family. It's nice for Jesse to see what's out there, what he probably won't remember, but it's nice for me to document that through pictures and videos, and also just to get him accustomed to traveling. He hasn't cried takeoff or landing, which is great. We got him some ear defenders, which he takes off, so he's fine with the flying, and he sleeps, so it's good. It's nice, and I think it's just been a great time of like Ollie was alluding to earlier, is celebrating love, celebrating friends, being intentional with our time. So something I've done with Melissa and in my time off is, without even the paternity leave, just random days off, take time off. We go into London, we spend a day together, we go for dinner, we have lunch dates. We just do different things that we wouldn't have been able to do if we were both working, or, we weren't intentional with our time. So it's been really great just to sort of continue dating whilst we're married. I think that's very important, that we continue to let that fire and love keep burning. And it's just been great to keep the friendships and relationships going. I think I've always been very deliberate in making sure that my friendships and relationships stay to a good, good way of communication and interactivity, and making time for friends as well, not just on the phone but also in person. So it's been good to do so. I'm happy to be back at work, happy to be back in the swing of things, looking forward to a good final quarter of the year, hopefully more traveling in the coming months as well. So yeah, that's always a bonus. But it's been a summer that's really been very different to the previous ones because of COVID and other family events as well. So it's really nice to have been a positive one where we've had some good weather, and just make it more meaningful. And to, as Ollie was saying, time is short, and we need to really enjoy the moments and cherish these memories that we have with by ourselves, with friends, family, and loved ones as well. So yeah, I'll round it off there.
It's been a very emotional summer, man.
Yeah, I mean, just a quick comment on my side. I think, and this is to Daniel and Ollie, both of you. I think a couple of years ago, the way that you guys were going through that transition period with your career, and you were thinking about long-term reflections, and I know, and we've discussed it firsthand, some of the challenges that you guys were seeing. And I think just to recognize that the way that both of you, driven by hard work, courage, everything, have taken that challenging situation, doubled down, and turned it into an amazing opportunity, and to see where you both are now, it's just amazing to see. I think, Daniel, the way that you flourished, becoming a father, getting that travel mojo back, managing it with a demanding career, but moving into a space that you really love. And I think, Olu, knowing that, I'd be easy to say you're probably one of the hardest working people out of this form, one of the hardest working people that I know, that just loves to grind. But actually seeing you take that time to take that career
True.
shift,
Very,
that
very true.
flourish,
Yeah.
that flourish,
Very
you-
true.
have the results, and not only have the results, but also celebrate those results in that time. I know it's not easy for you to take some time off. So for me, it's been great to see you travel, and I'm looking forward to that Bali trip. It's just a big congratulations to you both. And it's been great to see your summers develop and to celebrate that as well in the moments that we've had.
When you started talking, Shuo, Olu started smiling. I know why he started smiling. Because he's thinking that CFO bag now is way than what it was when I was climbing up.
Don't listen to P. Don't listen to P. But Daniel, no, it was great to hear about your summer, right? I think one of the elements that I love about Daniel is, even though social media is kind of quiet, you don't really see his different movements.
You got real loud lately, innit? You got real loud.
But
start making some real noise now, innit?
but when Daniel's abroad with that camera,
start making some noise.
There's a different energy, man. There's a different energy.
Let me get this drone out. Yeah.
There'll be a Melissa will be lying there, the baby will be there, and you're just like, Daniel is having fun.
Love it.
Photo shoot every day.
When I'm out, I'm out. Don't worry. When I'm out, I'm out. And you will know about it.
Well, I love the fact I love the fact that you're taking the moment to make memories with your family, right? I think being a first-time father I can imagine it's tough. But you taking that time to really spend with Melissa. I love the fact that you're saying, look, you're actually resting and going on spontaneous dates, still dating whilst you're still married, because a lot of people might find that really difficult, especially when you got a newborn child, right? And I've traveled with Daniel, so being in Denmark, his sleeping patterns all messed up. So him having the time, there will be certain times you'll be like, I'm up at 5 a.m. and I'm like, yo, go to bed. You don't need to be up at this time. Just enjoy it. So knowing all of that, right? Just seeing you still spend time and put time into your family, travel with your family, it's same as what I said with P, right? I look up to that and admire that in you, Daniel, and continue. I don't even need to tell you to continue. Daniel loves traveling, so I'm sure he's probably got his next trip planned. But yeah, love, bro.
Thank you.
The very last thing I'll say, I think it's necessary because we're having such a touching conversation. I'm being serious. One of the things that's happened this summer is there have been moments where I've said to myself, I'm so grateful to have you guys in my life and the story that we shared together, right? So individually and as a collective, because Take Flight is new, but we go back, Daniel, to your, light blue Adidas tracksuit, right?
Yeah, still got it.
You still got it. So we go, and it's just like you get to these moments in life where you think to yourself, it's only possible because you have great people, great minds around you. And I obviously shared the post recently on my page, and it's just, I don't know, sometimes, you always hear a lot of people talk about, I'm on my way, where I'm going with my guys. This honestly feels like an element of we've arrived in terms of we've reached a mountaintop. We'll find another mountaintop to climb. But I've said to myself, thank you for giving me these guys, honestly. So yeah, I just wanted to add that piece because I think it's just important to share.
Pete, love that. And I think that actually gives us a perfect way to start going into the close of the episode, where we'll quickly go around and share one thing that we've loved about the summer and also one thing that we've learned. Anyone want to kick us off?
I'll just say I'll kick it off. I'll just say spending time with loved ones, friends and family is unmatched, priceless. Make more time for it. Make more time for it.
I have to. Yeah, go ahead, Olu.
Yeah, similar lines of that one. I would just say yes to experiences and spending time with family and friends. That would be my big lesson for this summer. Is any opportunity that I've had to spend with you guys or any loved ones, I've said yes to it, not made any excuses.
What I've learned how incredible my wife is. I think she reminds me on a daily basis, she's more than what I ever thought, right? Just as a person, as a mind. So that's something that I've learned, and I'll continue to learn that and cherish that. What the other question is, I think it's more about just really cherishing every single time that I see you, Olu, Shuel, is not taking that moment for granted. right? And not taking, because we didn't know the pandemic was gonna hit us. It did, and it's meant that we hadn't seen each other for so long. So whenever I see you guys in person, it's just making sure that I just remind myself of how grateful I am to have this moment with you guys, whether it's 5 minutes or a whole day with the family.
Love that. And I think from from my side, I think I've just loved, and this is quite similar, echoing to what everyone else has said. I've just loved the people in my life, including you guys. I think everything that has been achieved this summer has come as a result of people. So people in my life being the motivator, people in my life being the collaborators, the partners to achieve some of these things, and of course my family and my wife being the closest drivers for everything moving.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
It's just mad. Go on.
And of course, my family and my wife, she's actually in the other room as well. So that's the funniest part, being the biggest drivers for everything. So that's something that I've loved and that I've learned to appreciate even more this summer. And I look forward to many more memories in the future. I think Olu's wedding, when that is, the celebration during that day is going to be off.
It's going off. It's going off.
A different level. But guys, thank you. I mean, this has been a great episode. Hopefully for the listeners, it's been nice to have us all back together. We did have a bit of a summer break, but we will be back a lot more consistently than we have been during the summer. And of course, sharing our development and everything along the way. And we do have episode number 150 coming up and beyond. So a lot more exciting things coming up. So I think with that, I'll pass it over to Daniel to close us out.
Hopefully I'm not too rusty on this, but thank you for listening to episode 149. The four of us back together on one episode. We hope you've enjoyed it and had a few laughs along the way. But yeah, if you've got any feedback for us, you can find us on Instagram at Take Flight Podcast. And please subscribe to us on YouTube, watch our videos on YouTube, see us in person. You see the banter between the four of us, which is great. And as Sherelle said, if you have 5 seconds, please do leave some feedback for us on any platform of your choice where you listen to us. Until next week, stay safe and God bless.
Take off, take flight with you.